2 of what looks like a new series. I have guests, Paul Moody, with me today in studio.
And I happen to be your
husband.
Thank you.
Yes.
He said with great pride.
That's right. I'm technically Jackie Priestley Moody. So we started talking last session, and for those of you who have tuned in first time today, thank you so much. Hope you'll stick around and see what we're talking about. And those of you, this is session 2 with us, thanks for following. Really, really appreciate it. We're digging down into dating do's and don'ts because we just had a couple scenarios, real life scenarios, come up before us. One young woman has put 9 years of her life dating a guy who is barely putting any energy into her. And she's clearly living off of crumbs that he gives her. Why would a woman do that? We're going to talk about that sort of thing. And then we gave some scripture last session. I'd like you to look up Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. The Bible very pointedly talks about guard your heart with all vigilance, and because out of your heart flow the issues of life. And when we're dating, I know that the Lord showed me to be very cautious about giving my heart away. And he actually let me know, give your heart to me. Let me be the owner of your heart. And don't even think about giving your heart to anyone unless you get my permission. And I specifically say, yes, I want you to give your heart to this person. And so I stayed as neutral as I could emotionally for a very long time. I was just in full throttle, stay neutral, stay neutral, stay neutral. And we're going to talk about how is it possible to do that? How do you keep from falling head over heels too quickly? Because that can make a real mess. Now, I was talking about the perspective before of, I talked about shallow perspectives in dating. And the first session, please watch it. If you're between 19 and 70, or at least 19 and 50, please watch the first session. It's very important. Picking up on stuff I said, I'll start here with, remember, ladies, if you think you want to ever be married and have children, when you start dating somebody, don't have shallow perspectives. Be a woman of purpose, be a woman of focus. And Paul, you pointed out, have dating strategies.
Dating strategies.
Know what you're about as a woman and be quick to assess. You want to remember they're choosing the future father of the father of their future children.
Or if our age, it's somebody that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be treated well or not?
Yeah.
And so many people choose incorrectly, and they're not going to end up being treated well.
Mm-hmm.
Let me run through a couple things real quick.
Sure, absolutely. Jump in.
Just hit the high points. We talked about last time, you need to sit down with a piece of paper and a pencil and map out your strengths and your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. Then you need to go to friends and say, what are my strengths and weaknesses, and see how well it matches up to what you have on the page.
Yeah.
And be tough on yourself. You want to be realistic about this because you want to see where you might want to work on things. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying lose 3 pounds. I'm saying what kind of attitude do you have? What are your habits? What are the things that drive people crazy? What are the things people love about you? Look at all that so you're realistic about it. Then when the time comes to start dating, sit down with that piece of paper and pencil again. Start making some goals. Mm-hmm. Ask yourself the question, what do I want out of a relationship? Am I looking to get married? Mm-hmm. Am I looking to just have somebody to go out and hang around with and spend some time with? Am I looking for just a pal? Am I looking for fill in the blank? Because you really need to know what you're trying to do before you get into it. Otherwise, you're just meandering around and you'll never know if you get where you want to be, and you don't know how to get there. But in putting down a goal, you can put down steps and understand this is what I need to do and this is what I'm looking for, which is going to make a real difference in the kind of guy that you pick.
Mm-hmm. One of the other things you want to do also, both as a single man and as a single woman, ask yourself, would I want to live with me day in and day out? Are you the kind of person that if someone were to marry you, they would think, I am the luckiest person in the world? Do that kind of an assessment. And do you have habits, pro and con types of habits that would make you less than wonderful to live with. Because whatever you don't work on and fine tune in yourself prior to marriage, they will become glaring in the marriage.
And be realistic
that goes
about it.
for men and women. So that's something, if you think, oh, I've been waiting so long to find somebody, maybe God has the hold button pushed down because he's wanting you to get ready by working on all these things, and you're not ready. And he may have this wonderful person, but he doesn't want you to mess them up because you didn't work on you in the downtime.
Quick example, when I stopped, before I met Jackie, about 4 months before I met her, I stopped dating altogether, and I started asking the question and praying about it. What am I doing wrong with my relationships? And God showed me what I was doing wrong, and then went deeper than that, and it was not always easy to stop and figure it out. But by the time I met her, I knew what I was looking for, and I knew where I'd made my mistakes, and I wasn't going to make those mistakes again. I made a whole group of other ones, but I was in a receptive mode with God, so I was learning, and I was not afraid of learning. And so...
That's a big thing. I'm glad you said it that way. Don't be afraid of learning about things about you that are less than polished. That's okay, because then you're not blindsided about yourself. You're going to be more self-aware, and that will help you be more in tune for a relationship. Cluelessness is not advantageous for anybody.
No. And if you look at yourself in your evaluation of yourself, if you look at yourself and the list of things that you don't like are long, that's good. You can start working on a lot of things and checking those off. Don't be discouraged about it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, and be praying about them.
And then when you get on a date, don't be in a hurry for anything.
Yeah.
Go slowly. Meet for coffee first time around. Meet for a meal after that on a second date. Don't be ready to be kissing people, men or women. Just don't go there. Be slow. Don't do anything because you feel like it's the right thing to do at that particular time, and you've done it in the past, and it's okay, and society says,
it's expected.
It's expected.
That out there isn't your standard. The Bible is your standard. Your relationship with and before God is your standard.
The Bible is mankind's owner's manual.
Yeah.
It will tell you everything you need to know, and it's a repair manual also. It'll tell you how to fix what's going wrong.
And one of the things that I realized, and then Paul, I found out, felt very strongly this way, be sure that you're meeting the friends of the person that you're dating, especially if you're on a third date. Don't go to a 15th date and you're all entwined and, you've never met family and you've never met friends. And don't think just because he has you meet his family that, oh my gosh, he's the one. Don't get all Twitter-pated like that,
Look at
ladies.
the family like you would look at the guy you're dating.
Yes.
Are they good people? Are they kind people? Do they treat each other well?
Do they rip into each other? Are they rude? Are they unkind? Are they disrespectful? Because if they are, and they're not even trying to be on their best behavior as you come to visit, that's what you're going to inherit. Walk away, walk away, walk away.
From a guy's point of view, that was fierce. From a guy's point of view, from my point of view, when we first started dating, I wanted her to meet my friends. I wanted her to meet my family, not because they would all say, oh, you got to hang out with Paul. He's absolutely wonderful, and they'd speak well of me. Because she would evaluate them the way she evaluated me. And in looking at them, she would see that people who are probably a lot better than I am like me. They would, and as a result, she would look at me favorably, but she judged the guy you're going out with. Men judge the women you're going out with by their friends, by their family. Are they good people also?
I heard the phrase a long time ago, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. That really is a good thing to remember.
In my case, it's show me. I'll show you my friends, and you'll find people that put up with a lot.
Now, one of the things you want to watch as you meet family is what's the relationship that the man you're dating has with his mom? Does she just ooze and goo all over him and seem possessive of him? And does he yield to that? Is he a mama's boy? Because if he's a mama's boy and she's calling him every day and they're just so close and he doesn't pick out which color socks to wear unless mommy tells him, run, Forrest, run. Because ladies, you will always be number 2.
Yep.
And you don't need that. You need a mother-in-law who is supportive and extremely respectful of your space. And a mother-in-law who understands he's a grown man. He's not my baby anymore. And if she's referring to him like that, step back and assess and watch. Don't, you and your mom. No. Be cool, chill, and watch. Watch and think and take note and pay attention and go a second time and a third time and be around and watch and pay attention.
And if his parents are gone, does he talk about them all the time? Does he still live in the past? Or does he just refer to them occasionally? What kind of tone does he refer to them in? How well does he speak of them? Does he have a picture around his house?
Yeah.
Does he have a healthy relationship with his parents, whether they're there or not?
Yeah.
And this, as I said in the first video, as a private investigator, these are all clues. Do I see a red flag here?
Yeah.
Because if you see red flags, I don't care how few they are, but if you see red flags and they're always there, walk away. Do the next thing that she does so
Now, we
well.
talked about obligations, and I remember I had a man that I went to lunch with, very intelligent, well-dressed, yada, yada. He talked about his ex-wife for an hour and 20 minutes while I had a nice lunch kind of by myself because he never made even one sentence of effort to get to know me. And I quickly assessed within the first 10 minutes. I thought, oh, okay, he's all about himself. He's still stuck in the past. That's where he is. Good to know. I'm having a nice lunch. This is the end of this. It won't go any further. And that's fine. And that's what you do. You assess. I was never unkind. I never, acted like I was bored. I gave him my attention. I was gracious, but I was assessing and I knew. When he walked me to my car, he actually wrapped his arms around me as I was pushing him away. He did not respectfully read my body language. Had he let go of me suddenly, I would have fallen backwards on the ground because I was pushing against him so hard. And then he leaned in, and I thought, this fool expects a kiss. There's that word, expects. And I thought, no, and I was astonished because I was never this bold in my life at any other time in the past when I was dating. But I'm grown now, And I said to him quite loudly so that people around heard, I said, I'm sorry, I don't do obligatory kissing. And he turned about the same color as this. And when I got in the car, I thought, oh, wow, I can't believe I said that. But he was pushy. He was clueless. He had been all about himself. He wrapped his arms around me, which was way too familiar for just having had lunch with me. And then he expected a kiss. And ladies, you do not kowtow to or let yourself be pressured into expected.
This is a key point.
That's guarding and safekeeping you, and you're precious.
Jackie didn't even allow me to kiss her until
What, the third?
Fourth
day. Okay.
Fourth. We met at coffee.
You paid attention.
I paid attention. We met for coffee originally. We had dinner together, then we had breakfast together, and then we met for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And that's where
first kiss. That's true.
And it was not a passionate kiss. It was just a warm, friendly, I like you kind of kiss. Mm-hmm. One key point that I want to bring up right now is that, ladies, for the first 5 to 10 dates, all you're doing is evaluating. You're not shifting out of first gear in any way, shape, or form. You're looking at this person and you're looking for signs. Signs that it can work, signs that it won't work. And you're looking for things like, Does he open a door for me? Does he open my car door for me? Does he do it every time? Is his car clean when he comes to pick me up for a date? Does he treat me well? Is he respectful to me? Is he respectful to the servers in a restaurant? All these things you want to watch for. And in those first, you can take this out to the first year. Don't be afraid to go next.
Yeah, and you can see why doing what God tells us in the Bible and not lending our bodies to sexual impurity is advantageous. I want you to look up 1 Corinthians chapter 6, I think it was. I gave this in the last session. Go ahead, ad lib, dance, do a tap dance, whatever. No, kidding. Okay, yes, it's juggle.
Let me entertain you.
Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 16 through 20. You want to read that. What's interesting in there is it talks about morality and sexuality. It talks about the deep psychology of what's really going on when people interact sexually. It says their souls are intertwining and they're becoming one. And it can be really, really scary who you allow yourself to become one with. And it also talks about it's the only sin where we are actually sinning against our own body.
Right.
There's nothing else in the Bible that even hints at something like that. So this is a profound passage, and it's not a goody two-shoes passage. It's a passage. You can't be this.
God has reasons for this,
Yeah.
and there are good reasons for it.
Yeah.
Society says, oh no, God's passé. Don't listen to him. It's
Yeah.
fun. It feels good.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons to not do it. We can, and we should do a whole show on this subject.
You can't remain neutral and be assessing accurately if you entangle yourself with someone sexually.
Yeah.
It's hard for men to tear themselves away, or they may not like you in particular, but they'll stay because what happens in the bed is a real roller coaster ride, and they love that. And you're being used, ladies, but just don't go there because you need to have eyes wide open.
You need to be objective about it,
And
you cannot afford to lose that objectivity. Jackie said constantly when we were dating, and it took me a while to realize what she meant. She says, I'm not shifting out of first gear. Mm-hmm. In other words, she's going to keep watching and she's going to pay attention because her future is important to her. And it's important to the people around her that she be treated well. All this fits in together, but you can't go there if you're getting emotionally all wrapped up in areas that you have no business being wrapped up in that time frame.
And I didn't know any of that when I was 18, 19, 20. Nobody ever talked to me like this. Nobody ever once said to me that I was special or I had value or I had beauty and I deserved more or better. And the person I married, I look back on how I allowed myself to be treated, even when we were dating, and I just think, oh, dear God, it's so sad. And yeah, it's just, so we're here not to talk about goody two-shoes. We're here to let you know the wisdom of the Bible.
This is practical stuff.
It's practical stuff, and we want you to be smart about what you're doing. Now, jump back in, Paul. Talk about, these women that are putting 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 years of their lives.
Okay, tattling on myself. I did that with a relationship, 5 years, and we lived together most of that time. It was not right. I knew it was not right. I like the person, and I have no idea why I was there with that person.
Oh, yes,
for
you did.
5.
You were...
Wow. 4 or 5 years.
5 years. And you weren't saved, were you?
No, not at all.
And you still knew deep down, I shouldn't be here.
I did. My folks who were saved, that's a whole story in itself, but my folks would not come over to our apartment. We could go over to their house, but they were making a statement, and they were making a correct statement. I was wasting my time with that person. Nice person. Good person. Hope she still is. That was 40 years ago. Yeah, that was a long, long time ago, and I'm still kicking myself over it because it was a mistake. And breaking up with that person was very, very difficult. There were a lot of tears from both of us on that. It's not, you don't walk away when you've got that kind of time invested.
You had essentially created a marriage type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not, it tears at your soul just like the Bible says it will if you join yourself on those levels.
And too many women, we know many women.
Oh my gosh, women, ladies, you are being used.
Who are being used by men. And forgive me, men, but it's true. And it very rarely goes the other way. It's mostly men who are satisfied because they've got somebody in a marriage type relationship, but they're not, so there's a certain amount of freedom in their mind. And the women are sitting there thinking, well, maybe if I do this, we're going to get to marriage because we're taking it one step at a time. You're not taking
it. No, you're not. Crash course in everything except commitment and accept loyalty. I cannot tell you how many times over the years, and I have lots of candles on my birthday cake, and I have heard lots of conversations, and I did paraprofessional counseling for a number of years. So I had people come into my office as my clients, and they would just bare their souls to me and the stuff I learned and the stuff I heard. And they were so tangled in relationships. And when it dawned on them finally that they were being used, the shock waves through their whole system, and then how stupid and foolish they felt, and then the anger, and it's just wave after wave after wave of stuff. And then I can't tell you how many men I would have them admit or talk, or I'd hear them talking in settings where, well, we're living together, but I'm not married to her, so once in a while, if I have a chance to have a little, something on the side, I was just like, ew, ew, ew. It was just, even if you don't know God and you don't belong to God,
it's still,
what a dishonorable person to be as a man. What a dishonorable person you are letting yourself be. Expect more, value yourself more, call yourself to be more as a man. But ladies, this is the reality. When a man works hard for you, earns you, makes sacrifices to win your love, and wants to commit to you the same way you want to commit to him, he's going to take his vows and his relationship with you very seriously, as you do. So these are the realities, and we have to talk about them.
And we can go on and on about it. Just doesn't hurt you when the breakup happens. It hurts your kids. It hurts your family. It hurts friends. You lose people in your life. The damage is incredible. It's bad enough for divorce, but when you're just living with somebody, or you've spent 5 to 10 years in a relationship, invested in this, trying to make it work, or believing it's working when in reality it's not.
What kind of timeline should women have?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're being smart, staying out of the bed, and assessing. What kind of timeline should they have? And we're keeping an eye on the clock. But as they're dating, what should they? What's the timeline for? Where are men's heads?
This is
all this
opinion. So I don't have a firm answer. But about a year into a relationship, you need to be asking yourself, where are we going? Is it going to where we have agreed that it should be, or is it going to where my goal is, and have I done the right things in that relationship? Is it stalled out?
Now let me ask you something.
Okay.
I'm a woman, we're on a date, we've been dating a year. How's this tactic? So, where do you think our relationship is going? I need to know.
Well, it was nice talking to you.
Don't do that, ladies. Don't do that. A man will let you know who he is, won't he, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
By his behavior and what he says.
Men are real upfront about it.
Yeah, so but they'll let you know there's clues everywhere. If you're not being chased anymore, that's because you've made yourself too easily accessible, ladies. But a man who has intent will be pursuing you. He will be the one who will be talking about commitment and where he sees you going.
Who talked about commitment first in our relationship?
Oh, you, by a long way before I was ready.
Because she was still in first gear. She was holding back because she was watching.
That's right.
To see where we were going.
Yeah, and I was doing that because of my past mistakes. I thought, I cannot.
You made mistakes.
Fail at a relationship anymore. I thought I can't. And so I was constantly checking with Jesus. And I had so many friends and many pastor friends and their wives meeting Paul. So I was just really wisdom, 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 caution, caution, caution.
And when I proposed, did that caution stop? Did it end?
No.
When was the last time you asked God, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah,
when was it?
I was upstairs in the little room. The wedding people were singing the first interlude song downstairs. My little tiara and my veil was being adjusted, and I had everybody leave, and I stood there one more time, and I said, Father, you are in charge of my life. If you want this wedding delayed, if I have misheard you, if you don't want me to marry at all, you have final say so. I've never been this yielded to you, Lord. I'm just checking in with you to honor you. I want your will above anything and everything. And the Lord just let me know, oh no, I've handpicked him for you. I was that wanted to be that yielded.
Real quick, because we're running out of time, but real quick, if God had said no, what would you have done?
I would have come down and I would have said, Paul, honey, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, she would have been saying, guys, it was nice to see everyone.
Yeah, let's have cake.
Let's have cake, but this ain't going to happen because God said no. She was willing, and I believe her, to pull the plug on it.
And what's amazing, we'll have to save it for our next time. We'll have to talk about.
Make some notes when we get off the air.
We will. This is a great thought. Cliffhanger. I got to share that. All right, so we're running out of time. Paul, thank you again for your time.
It was an honor and a blessing to be here.
Busy day for you. We are investing into you guys because we love you. We want you to have healthy, whole, sound, happy lives, happy hearts. We want you to know how valuable you are, how precious you are.
This is important
stuff.
Don't
be afraid of waiting on God, because love can find you when you're 65, 69 years old, 70. God will show up. Here we are, and God's full of surprises and he has blessings
We're
for you.
We're learning every day.
So thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. I'm Jackie Priestley. You've been Jackie Priestley Moody. You've been watching Let's Talk About It. We'll see you next time. Love you. Bye-bye.